Welcome back. So, we show Greg at launch and he's located in the launch area. Now, if we try to replay it, we go back. Also, very important thing if you want to go back faster. If you have a mouse wheel on your mouse, you can just roll it up and it goes back. It's pretty nice. It's very handy. So if we show him, you can see it's not a very clean way of showing him. He's just boom, he's there. Uh, Now, if you want to make things a bit smoother, you can use transitions. You can also use transitions for scenes. As you can see, the scene just pops up. It's pretty unnatural and it's not really very nice looking. A transition that I personally use very often is something called dissolve. What dissolve does is you can use with dissolve. If we try saving that, and the game reloads, we go back to the first line. We're at hello world, and now we're showing him with dissolve. As you can see, it's a bit more smooth. He kind of fades in, and it's something that you can use a lot. You can also use it like this with dissolve. You can write it after the showing. This has the same effect, but it also has another effect entirely. If I try writing it down here, so we play it, he shows, and his face kind of uh, dissolves. I don't do this normally, but you can do it if you want. If we go to the next one, oh, it's because I didn't save, of course. There's always some kind of mistake you do. And as you can see, the background kind of goes in naturally. That's because we had the dissolve at the very end. If we try putting the dissolve after scene, it's gonna be different. And you're gonna see how different. It's hard to explain in words. Look, what the hell happened here? He's just the scene came and he kind of dissolved out of it, but suddenly he's there again. That doesn't look good. It's because the with statement, if none of these have a with at the end, and you write it down here, the dissolve is going to apply to each of them at the same time. If you use dissolve behind all of them, you're going to see something different. You're going to see that each dissolve kind of does their own thing. So it dissolves in and he dissolves in afterwards. Dissolve is a command that takes about 0.5 seconds to kind of do its thing. So it dissolves in the span of 0.5 seconds and then it dissolves again. Now this becomes relevant if you want to do something else. Let's say we want to show John. We have to specify what kind of face he has at center left. Hello. I'm just writing random stuff right now. And we want to move the characters. This is where transitions are important, because if you don't use transitions to move a character from one spot to another in your game, he's just gonna teleport. So unless you want teleporting humans in your game, you're gonna want to use the command ease or some other kind of transition command. Ease is a very easy command to use. So if we use show Greg at center this time, he wants to move to the center, from the left to the center. And we also want John to move. And he should go to the center right. And if we're just gonna, they moved, we save. There's John. Because we didn't have a dissolve on him, he just kind of appeared out of nothing. But as you can see, whoa, they just teleport. That's because we want to have with ease. This is like dissolve, but it kind of moves them instead of fading them out and fading them in again. As you can see, they move together as one pair. If you want only Greg to move and then John moves, you can do it like this. In this case, Greg first does his ease command and then John does his ease. Oh. So Greg moves, then John moves. It's because we didn't do this. So that's important. It's important that you use transitions throughout your game. You don't have to use it when you just change expressions. So if you, for example, show John A1, you don't actually have to use any transitions here because, well, changing phase is not something you move or whatever you want to do. So you do this. If you move them, remember to use a with transition. You can also, if you want to do something crazy, there are a few commands. I don't think this works with ease, but if you want to use dissolve and do it over 3 seconds instead, you can do that too. Instead of doing it over 0.5 seconds, you do it over 3 seconds. If you do this, you need to remember to write dissolve with a big D instead of a small d. It's very important that you write it in lowercase, else it's gonna break. That's not good. You can see it's over 3 seconds they move. It looks pretty weird. You can do weird stuff in this game. So as you can see, if you want someone kind of beaming to somewhere else, you can do that. Yeah, and this is pretty much it to know about the transitions. Oh, not dissolve ease. We want this to be a good scenario, so we're gonna do that. So yeah, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.